All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. What you guys have today are two worksheets that you're just going to practice all this factoring for. Sorry. So we're going to look at a few of these to make sure that you know what you're doing. So the first page is what I call the cheater method, which is what you learned on Friday through my video or through Miss Burkhart. And then the second page is basically what we did yesterday. Okay, so again, it's just practice and we're going to go through a bunch of them. So we're going to start with this page. This one is the cheater method. I'm going to do mine on a separate sheet of paper. I would like for you guys to do yours on a separate sheet of paper because there's no way, especially on the second one, there's no way that you can do this. Guys, if you don't show work, I'm not giving you credit for this. Does that make sense? Everybody get that? I'm not going to do it. All right. So right before this, there's a blank page and it says practice 11, 10, 20. You'll see it at the top of the page. If you want to do some work on that page, that's fine as well. So we gave you an extra page for that. So I'm going to start with number 1. And it's n squared plus 6n plus 5. So since there's no number in front, all we do is find factors of the last, so factors of 5, that add to the middle. So the only factors of 5 that we have are 1 and 5. They do add to 6. So your cheater method says that you can put your variable and your factor. One of them was positive 1. Your variable and your factor was positive 5. That's your final answer. So they're really, really, really quick. Okay. If we look at number 2, we have n squared plus 7n plus 10. We need factors of the last, so factors of positive 10 that add to the middle, which is 7. Your factors of 10 are 1 and 10 and 2 and 5. 1 and 10 does not add to 7, but 2 and 5 do. So we write our variable, and we had a positive 2 as a factor, our variable, and a positive 5 as a factor. So as long as you know your multiplication tables, this one should be fairly easy. All right. I'm going to do one with a minus. I'm going to do number 3. We have n squared minus 7n plus 12. I need factors of 12 that add to negative 7 this time. And remember, you can do this in your calculator in y1 and y2 like I showed you, and that's fine. So if you get a little bit confused, use your calculator. But your factors are 12, are 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. But because I need a negative 7, that means I'm going to have to change these factors. So if we look at this, this gives you a positive 12. This gives you 8. This gives you a positive 7. So how would I get negative 7? Make them both negative. So your 2 factors, our variable is n and a negative 3, n and a negative 4. And again, if you forget, remember we can go into y equals, and we can put the last number, divide x, last number divide x plus x. And then we're looking in our table for the middle number in the red column. So I'm looking for, there's positive 7s. There's my negative 7, negative 4, and negative 3. Doesn't matter which order you put them in. All right. So all you're going to do after that is look down at the bottom. All of these answers go to 1 through 7. The first answer was n plus 1, n plus 5, which is W right here. So number 1 is W. Number 2 is n plus 2, n plus 5, which is right here on H. So this one was number 2. And number 3 was n minus 3, n minus 4, which is E. When you go down to the bottom, 1 is W, 3 is E, 2 was H. You have to show work or you get a big fat 0. Everybody got it? All right. Look at that last column. All of these are done the exact same way. They're all done the same way. Look at the last column. The only difference in the last column is that you have that B on the end. So let me show you how to do one of these. We have A squared plus 5AB plus 6B squared. That's your first one right there. We're still doing the same thing. Factors of the last that add to the middle. Your factors of 6 are 1 and 6, which adds to 7, or 2 and 3, which adds to 5. So here's how this one is different. Okay, so everything else is the same. This is how it's different. Whatever your first variable is, which was A, and your factor, which was a positive 2, we're going to split these up. You put a B on the end. That's it. So there's no difference in them at all, solved in the exact same way. You just have a variable on the end, sorry. And the second one would be A plus 3B. I'm going to do 16 to show you that one. So this one was 15. 16 is A squared minus 4AB minus 21B squared. This one has 2 negatives. We haven't done one with 2 negatives yet. We need factors of negative 21. That adds to negative 4. Again, you can use your calculator if you need to. My factors of negative 21 are either negative 1 and 21, negative 21 and positive 1, negative 3 and 7, or negative 7 and 3. There are no other factors. This gives you 20. This gives you negative 20. This gives you positive 4. The last one gives you negative 4, so these are the ones that I want. So how do we write it? Our first variable was an A. One factor was a negative 7, and we throw a B on the end. That's it. Your first variable is an A. We have a positive 3 for our factor. We throw a B on the end. You do the same looking at the bottom. So the first one was A plus 2B and A plus 3B. So 15 is E. And then A minus 7B and A plus 3B was 16. So 15 is E and 16 is T. Any questions? So again, the only difference in these, you work these the same way, you just put a B on the end. Look at that very last one. What number is with B squared right here? What number is with B squared? 1. Yeah, so I need factors of 1 that add to 2. What are factors of 1 that add to 2? What are your only factors of 1? 1 times 1, right? That does add to 2. So we'll have A plus 1B and A plus 1B. But do we have to see the ones? No. So this is actually A plus B, A plus B. And just to show you that, it's right here on N. So 21 is N. So again, don't forget that a 1 is always in front of a variable. All right, so that worksheet's pretty cut and dry. This next one is the one that we did yesterday. And I have a lot of people that haven't turned in their homework, so we're going to work on a few of these. Okay, we're going to work on quite a few of these. I'm just going to go down through the list. I'm going to start with number 1, and then I'll show you how to get your answers. These do not have GCF, so we're only practicing slide and divide. Okay, do not have GCF, only practicing slide and divide. So because we have a number in front, we slide it to the back and multiply it. So that leaves us with x squared plus 7x, and 3 times 2 is 6. We find factors of the last, so factors of 6 that add to 7. What are your factors of 6 that add to 7? 1 and 6. So we do x plus 1 and x plus 6. That's cheater method. But since we did slide and divide, we have to divide. We did slide. Now we divide. 1/3 will not reduce. So we do bottoms up and we move that 3 to the top. What is 6 divided by 3? We just reduced that one to 2. There are your 2 factors. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do number 2 and then I'll show you how you get your answers. On number 2, you have 2x squared plus 5x plus 3. We're gonna slide the 2. That leaves us with x squared plus 5x, and 2 times 3 is 6. Be careful on one like this. These are the ones that are typically messed up. I need factors of the last, factors of 6 that add to 5. Your factors of 6 are 1 and 6 and 2 and 3. When I add these, I get 7 and 5. So which are my 2 factors? 2 and 3. So x plus 2 and an x plus 3. I did slide. Now I have to divide by 2. What is 2 divided by 2? So my first factor is x plus 1. 3 over 2 will not reduce, so I throw the 2 in the front, and I get 2x plus 3. Okay, I'm going to do one more and then show you how to get the answer, and then we're going to do a few more together. Okay. Number 3, 3x squared minus 16x plus 5. Again, we're going to slide the 3. Leaves us with x squared minus 16x. 3 times 5 is 15. I need factors of the last, 15, that add to negative 16. Okay. Remember, if you're not sure, we can put it in our calculator. You should know these, but I'm just going to go back over it real fast. In Y1, I want factors of 15. So 15 divided x, 15 divided x plus x. And I'm looking for negative 16 in my chart. What are my 2 numbers?
Negative 15 and negative 1.
Negative 15 and negative 1. So my variable is x, and I had a negative 15, x, and a negative 1. We did slide, now we have to divide. Again, always divide the number that you slid over. What is 15 divided by 3? 5. 1/3 will not reduce, so we're going to slide the 3 to the front, and we get 3x minus 1. All right, so here's how we find our answers. I'm going to rewrite them on here. Your first one was 3x plus 1 times x plus 2. So I'm going to look in both of these columns for these. One should be in one column and one should be in the other. There's no crazy overlap or anything. So 3x plus 1 is right here on number 8. X plus 2 is on W. So that means at the bottom, 8 is W. So again, at the bottom, 8 is W. Number 2 was x plus 1 and 2x plus 3. So I'm going to look for x plus 1 first. which is right here on 15. And then in the other column, I'm going to look for 2x plus 3, which is right there on I. So this says 15 is I. And then on the last one, I had x minus 5 and 3x minus 1. X minus 5 is on this side, so that means 3x minus 1 would be on this side. So that says that 11 is E. All right, number 4 is just like number 3. Number 5 is just like 1 and 2. Number 6 just like number 3. Number 7 is like 1 and 2. Number 8 is the same, and number 9 is the same. So I'm going to jump down, and I'm going to do number 10, and I'm going to do number 11, and then I'll let you guys. So that gives you the different types. Number 10 and number 11, and then I'll give you work time. So number 10 is 3n squared plus 2n minus 1. There is no GCF, so I'm going to go ahead and slide divide. So I'm going to slide my 3 over. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. I need factors of the last, so negative 3. That adds to the middle 2. Your factors are either going to be negative 1 and 3 or negative 3 and 1. I need a positive 2, so it's got to be the first step. Again, when I add them, I need a positive 2. So we're going to do our variable and our factor n minus 1, our variable and our factor n plus 3. I did slide. Now I need to divide. 1/3 will not reduce, so we're just going to put it at the top, 3n minus 1, and then 3 over 3 is 1. You do the same thing on this one. Look for 3n minus 1 and n plus 1. 3n minus 1 and n plus 1. So that tells you that 2 is O. And then the last one, because both of them are negative, number 11, 5n squared minus 4n minus 1. Slide the 5 over. We get n squared minus 4n. 5 times negative 1 is negative 5. I need factors of the last, negative 5. That adds to negative 4. Your factors of negative 5 are either 1 and negative 5 or negative 1 and positive 5. Since I need a negative 4, the bigger number has to be negative. My variable is n and a positive 1, n and a negative 5. I did slide, now I have to divide. 1/5 will not reduce, so I move that up, and my first factor is 5n plus 1. And then 5 divided by 5 is 1. So we're going to look for that again. We have 5n plus 1 or n minus 1. N minus 1 and 5n plus 1 is right there. So number 5 is E. Any questions? First page shouldn't take you long. It's just finding factors of the last that adds to the middle. Should be real quick. You may not have a lot of work on that, and that's okay. But this one you have to have work with. Absolutely. Got it? I think there are 2 separate places to turn them in, so make sure that you find out which one goes where. I'm going to stop sharing.